Kia ora and welcome to Beer Club. I'm Luke.
And I'm Matt. Why are we on the roof, Luke?
It's just nice up here. Ambiance.
Vibes?
We're on the roof a little bit like Lady Blanchefleur when she was high up in the turret of that castle, defending it from a siege single-handedly until her beloved Percival came along. And he didn't rescue her because she was fine by herself, but he helped fight off the intruders, and then they fell in love, and it was a wonderful Arthurian love story. So this is our little homage to that.
And that's why we're on the roof.
Cheers.
Cheers. So this is our Small Gods interpretation of a table beer. Not a table beer. That's the wrong word. This is our Small Gods interpretation of a fresh hop beer.
Definitely.
Which is an amber table beer.
Yep, and we should say, so this week's beer is from Small Gods, who is yours truly. Matt and myself have come up with, I think this is our 63rd Small Gods beer.
Oh yeah.
Never repeated a beer.
Never will.
Probably never will. It's more exciting. Do new ones every time. But history at Small Gods never repeats itself, but it often rhymes. Much like when we brew table beers inspired by Knights of the Round Table and Arthurian legend.
Yeah, so I think this is probably our 5th in the series of something like that.
6 or 7. Yeah, several.
Yeah, I guess we got the other. So this is our 3rd dark table beer. I'm not going to count how many we've done.
After Mordred and Morgana.
Yeah. This one is a bit of a different take. We wanted to take a really out of the box direction. Everyone who's making fresh hop beers, you've got lots of New World styles brewed with those kind of classic New Zealand hops, whereas we want to take something a bit more traditional in terms of the hop variety. So we went with Green Bullet. I think I'm right in saying this is the first time that Green Bullet has been available as a fresh hop, and so this may be the first Green Bullet fresh hop beer ever. Maybe, don't fact check me on that.
Not in all of history. I'm sure people would have used them wet from the fields.
Yeah.
So this was great working with freestyle hops, and yeah, indeed, they had a single plot of Green Bullet. So yeah, the hop harvest was sort of well underway, and we've never done a fresh hop beer before because we like to zag when others zig, and we like to be innovative and different, and we just basically couldn't really think of a cool idea of something to do with fresh hops that was any different to what everyone else was doing, hey?
Yeah, but as is our way, we immediately thought about brown beers, dark beers. I think we're one of the few breweries where I think over 50%, might be close to 2/3 of our output is dark and brown beers. And we wanted something, completely different. So we went for a kind of dry, dark lager, a few kind of higgledy-piggledy inspirations, but it's kind of its own thing. It's part mild, part Czech lager, part German lager, and wanted something where those fresh hops were going to present in a completely different way. And so you've got a really kind of rounded, pronounced bitterness on the back that kind of goes along the palate, and some really interesting notes coming through. It keeps changing as beers like this do when they're young. But I've had a lot of blackberry jam notes, particularly on tap.
Okay,
Some really interesting kind of old school hop character coming through. Again, I'm leaning towards our kind of traditional English tendency with a lot of our beers.
Yeah, so it was cool to chat to the guys at Freestyle Hops and Kelly, who's a bit of a legend of the New Zealand beer scene.
The famous Kelly Ryan.
Yeah, so he's won endless trophies and medals brewing various breweries, and these days he's down in Nelson with Freestyle Hops, so a super knowledgeable, passionate guy, one of the best brewers in the world. And chatting to him about the hops as they're becoming available, and the Green Bullet was the final hop to be harvested. And as I said, they just had a single plot because they're looking to see if it's going to be a hop that become popular with craft brewers, essentially. And it was cool that he was just sending me photographs of him like checking the hops in the field, and then they harvest and they've been processed. And I felt like, my baby boy, I get photographs of him from his daycare. I felt like he was like looking after our hops and giving us updates. And
yeah, but as you were saying, you can really see why it's called Green Bullet. Like the shape of the hop cone is quite pronounced.
Yeah, they look really like big shell.
Yeah.
And yeah, green bullet hops are an important hop. They've been growing for quite a while in New Zealand, and it's a direct lineage from a lot of those European and British hops that we love, stuff like Fuggles that I talk about a lot, East Kent Goldings, SARS, and it's the hop that's famously used in Steinlager, and not a lot else really.
Not a lot else, and again, you don't really see it, so it was really interesting and exciting for us to see that Green Bullet was available, and just an opportunity to brew something completely new. I, in particular, don't like to be particularly constrained by style guidelines, as many of the followers of Small Gods will know. Yeah, I always love a chance to brew with new ingredients, brew with new techniques, and while learning from history and the history of beer, which obviously we talk about a lot, really kind of taking it a new direction, seeing what new flavor profiles you can create, seeing how you can work with the ingredients to create a final product rather than necessarily trying to fit in a specific box.
And this doesn't fit in any box. So when we launched it, it was the same day that we were hosting a homebrewers judging competition. So we had a bunch of the brewers from the Western Brewers conference here. And yeah, one of the members, Olga, just came over. She was marking the beers, and she was sort of giving the ratings for all the judging criteria with aroma and appearance and everything. And she said that she was confused and asked me what this was supposed to be. And I was like, well, we kind of made it up. We want it to be malty and super dry and really present the character of the Green Bullet and complex specialty malts. But there's nothing in the BJCP guidelines that we have even tried to comply with here. It's a thing all of its own. So yeah, definitely when it came out, I think we were both like, oh, is this going to be divisive? Are people going to think this is a bit of they hate? But people have loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it would be divisive. I knew it would be divisive, but it wasn't a question mark for me. But I mean, that's like all the best things are. If you, I feel very strongly that people shouldn't constrain their art to fit with popular taste. And the best art, some people hate it, some people love it, and it's the same with flavor for me. Like, my wife and I have a lot of disagreements about what's delicious, and I like big, strong, impactful, divisive stuff. And it's been really fun to play with something new and create something like that. So, on that flavor profile. Fresh hops are really tricky to work with, especially when it's a new fresh hop like Green Bullet, where no one's, we don't have a reference point for how that hop presents as a fresh hop. So it's got, the bitterness was a bit of a surprise to me, the level of bitterness, and it kind of pushing it almost kind of in a feel towards something like a Czech Pilsner, I feel like, in terms of the way the bitterness profile presents itself. And I think it's really interesting how that structure can come from the hop in a way that you don't expect.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think that every beer should be judged according to what the brewers were trying to do, but also what it is. And what this is a 3.1% beer. And I think that is a major reason why people really get a kick out of our table beers. It's a flavor-packed beer, and I know I talk about this every time, but I fucking hate 3% IPAs. It is just, it's not what the style is, and you end up with something that's watery, that's wishy-washy. So there are so many fantastic beer styles that are designed to be lower alcohol, things like Berliner Weissers and mild that you were talking about, and yeah, the whole world of table beers that we've been having a fun time working through. There's no excuse, there's no reason to make wishy-washy 3% beers.
Except for sales.
Yeah, people are buying things called IPA.
Yeah, they do. But and it's one of my favorite things that we've done at Small Gods is this table beer series, and the way that we've been able to deliver full flavored beers, and at that 3-ish% ABV. And I think probably the beer that I'm proudest of at Small Gods is Morgana, the previous dark table beer that we did. And we're making that stout that was 3 point something percent, but drank like 5.5, 6, but still full flavored. And if there is any Morgana left out there, I don't know if there is, I recommend picking that up if you're into this, or even if you're just into stouts in general. Because packing 3% beers full of flavor and body and mouthfeel and all that stuff is really fun, and being able to play around with those and have people, those sessionable beers that you can drink pints of, is something that is often hard to find in craft beer, and it's really fun playing in that space and trying to create new flavor profiles in that area, working with new ingredients in that area, and really delivering a drinkable package in that 3% that delivers on a flavor profile is one of the funnest things I get to do as a brewer.
Well, it's fun, and also let's not forget it's challenging. It's not an easy thing to create a 3% beer that has good mouthfeel and body and flavour and layers and complexity. It's a challenge. So like with this and with the our recent stout Morgana, that was we got through quite a few kegs here at the tap room, and a good proportion was going down my neck.
Yeah, mine
just
too.
On a Saturday afternoon when it's sunny outside, after you've done run club, there's just so many reasons when you want to smash a delicious 3% beer.
Yeah, and that's why I'm trying to convince Luke to let me brew an 8% beer next. So we'll see how that goes.
That balances out. Always, we've never shied away from the high percent ones either.
No.
Which we've had a few people asking us about our plans for Christmas and the Christmas trilogy this time around. So
we're in a bit of a transitional period last Christmas, so we didn't manage to get the Christmas beers that we usually do out, but it is on our radar. So we're having a think.
The trilogy shall return.
Yeah, we have a trilogy of trilogies now, so we'll see if we mix it up with something new. Well, we're still working on it.
Who knows? Something's going to happen. And with the with these table beers, they always have this the same like 1-inch craft paper table label, which you might think is a really economical thing to do and really affordable, but it's not. It's much more expensive than your regular beer labels, but they look cool, and that's our little homage to the Colonel Brewery in London that really made table beers great again. 10 years or so ago.
I had the joy of going over and visiting the Colonel in July this year. Yes. Time is nothing. Nope.
Last year, because it's July 2 months.
It is July 2 months. See, time is meaningless. But I got to go over and visit them. I took them a couple of our table beers, and they gave me an amazing tour of the brewery. So really inspired by the Colonel and what they do, and their kind of uncompromising approach. It's definitely, any of you going to London, definitely check it out in the Bermondsey Beer Mile. It's well worth it.
A real one of many breweries that serves a great inspiration to the stuff that we do, and I really enjoy doing the artwork on these labels as well. It's kind of dark. I'm not sure how well you can see this one, but you've got one in your hand, so it doesn't really matter. But obviously, this is one depicting the tower that Blanchefleur was holding up in, fighting off the horde of enemies that were trying to take her birthright and her castle over. And so that's the nice thing with the table beers that we do. That it's always a lovely line drawing, so like a inspiration from sort of woodblock printing, I suppose. And that's nice because it takes a huge amount of time to put together our labels. So at least when I know when we're doing a table beer, it just will be so it's about a love potion. I'll do a bottle of love potion, or it'll be a sword coming out of the water.
A more simple, minimal approach than some of our labels.
Not
that we shy away from minimalism in general,
but ever not. Pretty good fun. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying this. We had a fantastic fresh hop season. There were so many great fresh hop beers to try. But this was one of the more unique ones, the most unique one that I tried, despite there being, well, not despite, but there were really fantastic pilsners, especially this time around. Always good West Coast IPAs and hazies. So cool to do something that's a style that we kind of made up.
Yeah, we did. Anyway, cheers.
Cheers.
Right, can we get that ladder back?